Today we will review 6th grade math lesson 7.3. This lesson will cover solving a variety of percent problems. Here's your I can statement. I can write a percent as a fraction or a decimal and use a variety of strategies to solve real-world problems. I can also explain my solution methods to others. When solving percent problems involving percent, it's important to understand how to use the given information. A general guideline of writing equivalent ratios for these type of problems is shown below. So I would go ahead and write this down, and we want to memorize this proportion. It's called the percent proportion. To solve each problem, substitute the given information into the appropriate place. So let's set up an equivalent part to whole ratio. What percent of 125 is 75? This strategy is really useful when the percent is unknown. I encourage you to pause this video and complete these problems on your own first, and then review the video. If you'd like to see problems in your student workbook, look at the homework on page 225 for similar problems. So as we do this, we do part whole equals percent over 100. Then we go ahead and read our question. What percent of 125 is 75? So we do the part over the whole, and then we ask ourselves, as we're setting up a proportion, 125 divided by what is 100? So I know that I am dividing by 125. So 75 divided by 125, 1 and 2500, equals what? It equals 60. And this here is your percent. So when you get 60, that goes back into the problem right here, which is your percent. 75 is 60% of 125. In class, 10 students like salad. If 40% of the students like salad, how many students are in the class? I find these easier when they give me the percent, because there's your percent. And if 10 students in the class, how many students are in the class? So this is your part, because they're asking you what is the total. They're asking you for the total or the whole amount. So we go ahead and we fill this in. And we put 10 here is my part, and this is the whole, we don't know that. And then we put 40%, which is 40 over 100. 10 times 4 is 40. Something times 4 is 100. So because multiplication and division are inverse properties, that's why they say 100 divided by 4 is 25. So I know that the 25 becomes the total of how many kids total are in the class. There are a total of 25 students. Let's work on a few more together. In a student council election, Kylie receives 120 votes for president. If Kyle receives 60% of the votes, how many students vote? So again, that's going to be the total, and this is going to be the part. So we write part whole equals percent over 100. And then we go ahead and fill it in from the information given. So for part, I have 120. For the whole amount, I don't know that. And then I have percent would be 60 over 100, because percent means out of 100. And then I ask myself here, 120 divided by 2 is 60, and something divided by 2 is 100. So what would that be? So we can do the inverse and say 100 times 2 is 200. So now I know that that is 200 students. Because in this problem, I am trying to solve for the x here. And that was how many students vote in the election, that's the unknown, and 200 students total vote in the election. Okay, I'm going to give you the answer to the next one is we are finding 35% of 105. So you can go ahead and solve that on your own. Stop the video right now and complete this problem on your own, and then I will give you the answer. So that one is 300 students. Okay, let's look at question 3. The polar exhibit at the zoo has only penguins and seals. There are 14 penguins for every 6 seals. What percent of the exhibit is seals? So they're wanting seals here, and they're asking for the percent. So let's go ahead and look at this one a little closer. So we know that we have 6 seals, and we have 4 penguins. No, wait, 14 penguins, sorry. And then the total would be 20 total animals in the exhibit. What percent of the exhibit is seals? So let's go ahead and do our part whole. So our part would be, with seals, would be part whole, 6 over 20 equals percent, which we don't know, over 100. We are trying to find the percent here. So 20 times what is 100? 20 times 5. So I know if I do that to the denominator, I must do times 5 to the numerator. So I know that 6 times 5 is 30. So 30% are seals. Redfield, New York is one of the snowiest places in the United States with an average snowfall of 22 feet. So that's the total, or the whole snowfall for the whole year, because it says annual. So far this year, Redfield has received 105 6/10 of an inch. So that's my part. But what I want you to notice here is this is feet and this is inches. So one of the first things I have to do is we need to convert, just like we did in Module 6. So I would do 22 feet times 12 inches is 1 foot. And then go ahead and cross out the conversion and then multiply. So I have 22 times 12, which is 264 inches. That helps me because now this is my whole in inches. So we need to have the same unit of measure. So I do part whole equals percent 100. Part would be 105 6/10 over 264, that's inches, equals, and we need to know the percent. It's saying what percentage has fallen so far. So we have x over 100. We don't know what that percent is. We are trying to find the percent. Now I need to do 100 divided by 264. And I know that if I divide 264 divided by 2 and 6400ths, I would get 100. So if I'm dividing this, I must also divide the numerator. So I have to take 105 and 6/10 divided by 2 and 6400ths, which gives me 40. So therefore, I know that 40% of the snow has fallen so far. So that is our lesson for Module 7, Lesson 3, Grade 6.